Be sure to go back and watch that last creator's video. She made an excellent point talking about why people don't talk about the effects of heartbreak more often, what it does to people and how it makes you sick. And I want to answer that video with a response that may be controversial for a lot of you. People don't talk about the effects of heartbreak, in particular the people who did it, is because they know what they did. They know what they did. They're okay with doing what they did. Sometimes they smile to themselves about what they did, knowing that they devastated you, saying to themselves, I know I did that. Sometimes they laugh about it. A lot of times they will brag about it to their friends. They will show their friends those paragraph long messages. They will let their friends listen in on those tearful, heartfelt conversations, and they're going to mock you and laugh at you. Yeah, people can be a real asshole about it, and it happens a lot of the time where people are very devious, and they intended on breaking your heart. Not only do they intend on breaking your heart, but this creator mentioned about how she got so sick and she's going to take a break from dating, and I hear that from a lot of people that I've worked with in my practice, and that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to sit out. They want you to be in the house, covered up, crying over them, never wanting to date again, because they're going to feel gleeful knowing that I did that and now you don't get to have anybody else because you're so smitten over me. And that is such a huge ego boost for people. And I don't care if people come out and say, oh, I'm avoidant, I'm this and I'm that. It doesn't work, because even avoidant people know what they're doing when they walk away from a person that's completely invested in them. And I honestly think that there's a lot more going on behind avoidance, but that's a post for a different day. But yeah, they mean to do that, and they want you to be stuck inside the house. They want you to never date again. They want you to never have, intimacy with someone again. They don't want you to have friends. They want you to be just sort of mulling over them, depressed and in a lonely state. Yeah, they want you to do horribly. They want you to fail at everything. Yeah, so if you're starving and they know that, that's an ego boost, so they're smiling about that. They're feeling like a big person about that. If you're not going out with your friends, if you're just, if you're sitting at home and you're having a mental breakdown, people enjoy that. And I hate to say that, but they really get off on that. And they probably will, most do, circle around in a month or 2 or 3 or maybe a year or 2 or 3 or so from now and give you a sorry ass apology and say, you know what, I'm so sorry about that. I was a bad guy. And it's not really real. It's not really a heartfelt apology. They're wanting to get back in so they can do it all over again. My biggest piece of advice, and something I wish I can go back to, years ago when I was a young woman and I went through a lot of heartbreaks. I've gone through my fair share of heartbreaks where I've been crying, ugly cry, snot coming out of my nose and all that kind of good stuff. My biggest piece of advice would be don't cry over anyone who's not dying or who has some sort of serious ailment. And even then, I would reserve that for people that have proven themselves to be stable to you or blood related. Other than that, don't spend your time. Don't get hung up on that. And I understand that people are they have normal feelings, right? It's normal to have feelings of sadness, is what I'm trying to say. It's normal to grieve the loss of a breakup, but don't stay stuck there. Don't shut down your life. In fact, I always encourage people to do the opposite. Even if you're taking small steps, have a phone call, get started on a hobby, watch a show, do some stuff, journal about it, but give it time and then release it and get back to life as soon as you can, because chances are, I'm 99.999% of the time, the person that you are heartbroken over, spilling your tears over, if they didn't die or have some sort of serious ailment, it's a good chance that they're not even worth the tears that you're spilling over them. They did you dirty, they did you wrong, and they don't care. And you need to, act accordingly. You need to continue to live your life. Don't stop living your life. Don't sacrifice yourself. Don't cause yourself further harm, further stress over someone who could care less and who's on to the next one doing God only knows what.